Alright, welcome everybody. How are you doing tonight? We're back. We're back with some more Dreadfarer. I'm gonna be working on my game. Hello everybody, how are you doing tonight? Hey, Sora, Siphon, Mush, Mitchie, Nid, Mr. Zmurlock, is that how you pronounce it? Welcome. Good to see you. Hey everybody. So, tonight we're going to be continuing what I've been working on yesterday. We'll be continuing Dreadfarer. Oh, and Bean is awake. Hello, my little guy. Oh, you're pressing on every button. Hello. Hello, Bean. Do you want to say hi to chat? Oh, he does. Oh, my boy. My boy. Come over here. Come over here, you rascal. Val is game deving. I am working on a solo TTRPG, so it is, just to explain that name for those not familiar, it's a tabletop role-playing game that you can play on your own. So the game is basically a little booklet with instructions, and you only need that and a notebook of any kind, and your job is to fill out the notebook with your diary of an exploration throughout a strange new land of Lemuria. Rafaze, is that how you pronounce it? Welcome, thank you for the follow. So, yeah, this game, we put it up on Kickstarter a few months ago. Been working on it ever since, and yeah, right now we're at the point where I'm just making a lot of illustrations so we can put the book together. Still a bit to write, but we got enough written that I can illustrate a lot of it. So yeah, we've been doing throughout the past few streams where we've been working on this. We've been doing a bunch of cursed artifacts that you can find on this game. We're making some. Yesterday we made one of the areas you can visit, and today we're going to be focusing mostly on areas, I think, just some like interesting locales, and yeah, maybe an artifact as well. We'll see, but I do definitely have a lot more artifacts than areas at this moment, so I should probably do some areas. Oh, hello. Big stretch. You doing good, Bean? Hello? Ooh, yawn. Okay. You're gonna be here, you gotta lie down, okay? You can't be up there. Hold on, I'll give him a treat. A treat for Bean. That's a good crunch. Good crunch, dude. Hey, Cabby, welcome. Careful there, Bean. So, let's show some of the stuff I've been working on. Oh, you want to go, Bean? Okay, I'll let you. You're free to do whatever you want. Yesterday, one of the two things we made, it was this. This is one of the areas you're going to be able to visit. It's called the Whistling Cliffs. So, this is strange cliffs full of little holes, and when the wind hits them, they start whistling strange tunes, and some say they can hear the voices in these among these sounds. Some say they can hear the voices of those who have passed. Oh, where are you going, Bean? Are you just gonna lie down here? Okay, hold on. Let me move the Bean cam. Don't get stuck. There we go. There. Let me remove my phone. What made you start this project? Well, it was a kind of an on-the-fly idea. So I was talking to on the Patreon Discord. I was talking to one of the patrons, who's called Neon Rods, who has done a lot of little games like this, and I just jokingly said, "Oh, if I ever made a TTRPG, it would be about exploring a solo game about exploring a place or an area, kind of Indiana Jones style, but with horror." And so Neon was like, "Yeah, sure, let's do it." And we started talking about it, and it kind of became a reality. That's how it started. Hey, Laos. Love hearing the voices of those who have passed. Hey, Kero. Welcome. Here from the tweet had a question about one of the picks. Is there an in-universe lore reason that the continents don't appear to fit together like Pangea? They're volcanic for the most part, but not all of them. Okay, they're also not like a big continent shape. It's more like an archipelago. Although I like calling it a continent. It's like 4 big islands. All right, so yeah, this is one of the 2 we did yesterday, and the other one we did is this one. It's a parasitic flower that we called. Wait, what did we call it? I have the name noted down somewhere around here. The peregrine rootclaw. So yeah, most of the illustrations I've done, I'll show you a few. These are like artifacts you'll be able to find in game. So it's basically like, after each of your expeditions, which is like each chunk of the game is like a little expedition to a place to find an artifact, and in the way there you'll find some kind of danger. So you have to just roll from random tables for each of these, and then you take all that information and you put it together in. Whoa, Bean, what are you doing? And you put it together in a coherent narrative, so that it all fit together. So this is a carnix, which is a type of instrument. It's kind of like a horn you blow into. This is the golden child. It is a big chunk of ore, of golden ore that looks like a child. All this is inspired. The era it takes place in is the early 20th century. It takes place in the real world, but in an imaginary, like kind of quote unquote new continent. It's new in the same way that they found America. There was already people there, but it's new to the outside world. This is a living stone, for example, and this is a phoenix. Poor thing is stuck in a cage that's too small for him. Somebody better catch me because I'm streaking. Okay, so yeah, today we're gonna focus on doing like, let's aim for a couple areas. So this area is, and I'll show you the map so you get an idea. There's 4 main land masses that you'll be able to visit. There's Sarah, there's Motag, there's the Sangul, and there's Lazarak. This one, they each have kind of a theme, right? Sarah is kind of a lot of deserts. There's also a lot of caves and mines in it. Motag is mostly like mountainous, so you'll have mountains and cliffs to climb, and the cold as a danger. The Sangul is like the jungle area. It's like a huge volcanic caldera, and in the middle of it is just full of like a rainforest and swamps, that sort of thing. And Lazarak is a blighted hellscape of volcanic eruptions. It's just like it used to be the most prosperous of the islands until volcanoes basically covered everything in lava, and the island kind of became uninhabitable pretty much. Since then, it's full of dry rivers of lava, so just black rock and everything else that has not been directly gone through like rivers of lava was covered in meters and meters and meters of ash. So everything's kind of buried. So this one has a little bit of like volcanic areas, like Timanfaya in the Canary Islands, and has a little bit of Pompeii in it as well. I bet Lemuria is close to Brazil. We actually don't set it anywhere specific in the game. Oh, Bean is scratching. I don't know if the mic picked that up. We don't set it anywhere specific in the game because we want people to be able to create their own characters and have like a lot of freedom as to like where the character is from, right? So it can be in the Pacific Ocean, it can be the Atlantic Ocean, it can be in the Indian Ocean. That's like the three main probable places you'd find it, but yeah, we kind of leave that up to the player. Hey, Bean. Careful with that. No, you can't bite that. That's paper. It's important papers. You don't make much man-insect hybrid pictures anymore? I made one the other day. What you talking about? Yeah, I got Megalomorph habit. A bit abandoned, but don't worry. There is stuff. There's stuff being worked on. Oh. Bean Cam. Because he is making biscuits. It is biscuit time. How do you think of the name of these places? So a lot of these are just based on like real places, and then you start changing words and letters until you find the new name. So for example, Syrah is the Sahara Desert. So it's like the desert area, right? What desert words do we have? Sahara. So we took Sahara and just chopped it down, Syrah. Motag, you can probably tell it comes from mountain or mountainous, right? This one comes from jungle, and this one's the Lazarak comes from the island of Lanzarote, which is the inspiration. Also, like the landmass itself is based on Lanzarote. Each of these kind of has the vibe of one of the Canary Islands, which is where I live, if you don't know. So this one is based mostly based on the island of La Palma, which is kind of the greenest, kind of a younger island. So, you know, pretty mountainous, full of volcanoes, but really green and lush. Lazarak is based on Lanzarote, which has specifically an area within Lanzarote called Timanfaya. I mentioned it before, which is just an area that in the 19th century got completely obliterated by volcanic activity. Now it's a national park. It's an incredibly like alien-looking area. It's really beautiful. So that's kind of the inspiration here. Syrah is based on Fuerteventura, which is a more like flat desert area, really windy. The south part of Syrah is kind of a black desert, which is a kind of volcanic ash desert. That's really common in the Canary Islands as well. Specifically like beaches and stuff, but you know, we made kind of a desert out of it. Motag is more inspired in Asturias, which is my homeland. So it's a bit more mountainous, a bit different culturally too. Is a light spot in Lazarak a volcano opening? Nope. These little dots are the volcanoes. This is the White Mountain. It's in the middle of this completely black island, just like you can imagine. It's like dry lava beds and ash-covered fields, so it's all black. And in the middle of it, there's just one mountain that survived, the only place that wasn't completely destroyed. And there's a palace on there, but it's completely empty because, you know, the people who ruled this island used to live there, but suddenly everyone died, so they just had to leave. They had nobody to rule over. So it's kind of this one kind of striking place in the middle of the island. Hey Wesley, how you doing? Damn girl, you live like this. Protagonist Dreadfarer setting foot on Lazarak. It's a Sangol named after the Latin article from blood. It's actually, okay, so it is the word the jungle and kind of sanguine, kind of blood. Yeah, it's kind of blood jungle. That's exactly where it comes from. So really, really good eye there. Everything was going great until, you know, the volcano. Volcano is plural. There's like a million of them. This place gets obliterated. Anyway, these are the 4 main islands you visit. Plus the Akara Sea, which is after... Like, you can't do this at the beginning of the game, but after some point, you will be able to take a submarine and go underwater and go in a like big diving suits. I actually have a postcard of that. Go in a big old school diving suit and see the horrors of the deep. That's kind of like a late game area, and then there's another further late game area after that. That's a secret though. Can't wait for the Brits to haul the entire palace back to England. Thankfully for Lanzarak, the Brits have not set foot upon it. But in Motag, you know, each of the islands kind of has a history, and that's kind of one of the things you'll be discovering. So I won't specifically kind of spoil any of like the deeper things you'll be learning as you visit these places. But like, this is like one of the basic things. Motag is a land that used to be like full of a bunch of different clans that just lived in different valleys and stuff, and they were constantly at war with each other. And when the Europeans discovered it, quote unquote, right? The Europeans found it, and the British tried to make a colony there, like the British do, especially in the early 20th century. They said, "Oh, that's great for a colony." So they essentially kind of used the warring clans and the fact that they were at war with each other to take over like a big chunk of the island. And ever since, all the warring clans have kind of united to push the British away. So now it's kind of more of a, you know, a united front. Yeah, the island of Sarav, for instance, is different. The island of Sarav was tried, and there was an attempt to colonize it by the Dutch, but it didn't go well. There are not many left over there. Confining the British monarchy to the lava wastes. Motag seems to evoke a sort of mold pattern. So what you see here are peaks. Each of these little things, they're tall peaks. Here's what this would look like from the ground. It's just a really spiky island. Sarad really said fuck the Dutch, for real. You're gonna see, again, I'm not gonna spoil the specifics, but there are little stories that you can discover throughout just the descriptions of the artifacts, the descriptions of the areas, and then the encounters you'll be able to see there. That you get more direct interaction with that. But obviously, there's a lot of stuff that's left vague, so that the player can also kind of take that base world building that we've done and expand on it, take it in their own direction, make the conclusions that they want to. Maybe they'll reach different conclusions to what I've sort of intended for like the history of these places. That's a part of the fun, I think. That's really open to that. And the European all over the place, exactly. The latest King Charles portrait was Charles getting dipped in magma. I love that portrait. It actually kind of rocks. Like, I don't know if it rocks in the way that the British monarchy intended, but it kind of feels like one of the art pieces in the game, Dishonored, if you play that. Motag is looking respectfully. Okay, so the Whistling Cliffs is from the island of Sora. So this island is made out of sandstone Like a lot of it's made out of sandstone, so you got a lot of like weird sandstone structures. Obviously, this is not something that really happens in real life, but we took some actual rocks that had this cool honeycomb pattern, and we expanded upon that, made it the main attraction here. But right now, we are going to travel up to Motag, up here. And we're going to go to one of the tallest peaks. Or I think it might be actually be the tallest peak. Let me see what I wrote on here. The tallest peak. So, there is a legend of an orange tree, not as in the orange color, the orange fruit, an orange tree that lives up on the tallest peak of the land. And despite being a completely inhospitable place, this weird, strange tree that has blue leaves and black roots took roots there, and it manages to live despite all the odds. And there's many stories of the chiefs of Motag going to this strange tree to offer, to make offerings to it in times of war, in times of, alliances, marriages, that sort of thing. And if the tree gives you a fruit, like if the tree has a fruit when you go make your offering, it kind of means it's giving you a blessing. So this is based on an actual. It has a few different inspirations. It is based on a very literal interpretation of an actual mountain. So hold on, let me hop over to the browser. So there's a mountain, a peak in Asturias, where I live, called the Naranjo de Bulnes. This is it. It's a really beautiful, imposing peak. And if you're in the eastern part of Asturias, where I kind of grew up and spent the summers, it's always like looming in the distance, which is really cool. You can be like at the beach and you can see that peak up there. It's really cool. And it has this really strange square shape. In any case, it's called Pico Riayu in Asturiano, in the local language, but it is also known as the Naranjo de Bulnes, which naranjo means orange tree. And I always wondered, why is it called orange tree? What does this have to do with an orange tree? But I figured it would be fun to just take that very literally and have an orange tree growing atop a mountain. I thought that was like, hey, that's cool, right? So I kind of took it very literally. And there's also another legend that I took inspiration from for the weird colors of the tree. It is a folklore legend also from Asturias called the death rooster, El Gallo de la Muerte. So it is every 100 years there's going to be a strange chicken that's born, a rooster, sorry. And the rooster has, I don't even remember the colors. I think it has blue legs and a golden beak. Like it has like, it's a strange colored rooster. And if you hear it, what's the sound that roosters make? If you hear it scream, you will die the next day. Like it's sort of an omen, like an inevitable. If you pass by this strange rooster and it screams, you're gonna die. The only way to avoid death after hearing the scream of the death rooster is to find a tree that has blue leaves and black roots. And you gotta go and make some tea out of the leaves. I don't recall if it's the leaves or the roots. You gotta take one of those, make a tea, and drink that. And that's the only way you can be saved from the death rooster's chant or scream or whatever. Kind of looks like a chopped tree. Maybe that's the origin of it being called an orange tree. You should have a place called Sal Si Puedes. There's a bar called Sal Si Puedes in Oviedo, where I grew up. It means get out if you can. But yeah, I took the idea of this like strange tree with blue leaves, combined it with a name of the mountain, and made something new, but that with certain inspirations, right? So I was actually thinking we could take this very mountain and make it the peak where the orange tree grows. That said, we're gonna have to make it smaller so that, you know, the orange tree is like a regular size. But I think it could be cool. That said, let's see if we can find good sort of free images of Naranjo de Bulnes. Let's see. Naranjo de Bulnes. Maybe if I just look for Bulnes. Give me something. Okay. There are a handful of images. It's not too bad. These are from the town of Bulnes, which is a village of Bulnes, which is, you know, right next to the Naranjo. Here we have like the mountain near it, but that's not the Naranjo. This is the Naranjo. Thank you so much to Enrique. Cool person from my area. We took a cool picture. Okay, oh, by the way, I'm gonna take all of this. Gonna delete all the other layers, and we're gonna call this orange tree. Is that a Spanish folklore thing with like that many steps? Reminds me of the magic and rituals in Pan's Labyrinth. Oh yeah, Pan's Labyrinth is partly based on Spanish folklore. But it is very much its own thing. It is, I don't know if it's specific to Spanish folklore, but it's a very folklore-y thing to have like a stupid amount of steps that you have to know to get rid of a curse. It does happen a lot in Asturian folklore, but also I think in folklore from other places. So I'm not sure if it's specific to it. Okay. What if we do something like that? We kind of zoom it in. And by removing some context, which is what I'm doing here, we're removing some of the context to kind of reduce the information that the viewer gets about size. So if we put an orange tree up here, it's going to be, you know, it's probably going to feel to the viewer like, you know, this is a reasonable sized orange tree and this is just like a small peak. I don't know. It's a possibility. If it feels weird size-wise, we'll figure something out. That said, we have lost a lot of quality by zooming in so much. But we'll probably be fine. Oh yeah, there was... What's going on here? Okay, somebody selected around here. Huh, interesting. There was some editing done to this image. I think somebody selected around the mountains. Maybe the... Yeah, I think I know what happened here. The sky was probably more overcast that day, or just didn't look as pretty. So that the person who uploaded this image edited a different sky on top. So you can see that the level of quality in the mountain and the level of quality in the sky are very different. So that implies that the sky was actually pasted over from a different photo. Probably just because it has these cool clouds, I would bet. Anyway, sleuthing done. Let's go back. But we can probably get our own sky, to be honest. Just so we don't have to deal with this low quality JPEGified sky. So let's see. Let's do maybe overcast. No, it can't be overcast. It has to be sunny. let's just search for sky here. Oh, I completely misspelled that. Let's just search for sky and get like a nice sky with just a few little clouds. That looks good. That looked like something you'd see in your dreams. This mountain, you can see it in real life. Come to Asturias. Or go to Asturias. I'm not currently there, but Asturias is one of the most beautiful places in the world. Obviously, I am biased because I grew up there. But it is, I think, legitimately a really beautiful place. Like, everyone who's been there can attest to that. Okay, we got a new sky. I'm probably gonna blur this image a little bit so the edge doesn't feel too choppy. The hills are alive. Not this one, but some hills are alive. Or maybe? We don't know. There's sort of an implication that you can see here very clearly. This is an actual area in the game, in Motag, same zone as this, called the Witness Cliffs. And it is just huge carvings in these cliffs that look like eyes. And people can swear that they move and follow ships as they come to the shore. But whether or not they're actual eyes, that's for you to find out. What would happen if someone killed a strange death chicken? I don't know, they'd probably get super cursed. Would not recommend killing the death chicken. Do you have any thoughts on dragons? Like in general? I don't know. I guess dragons are cool, but I don't know if you have any more specific questions. To receive super death and go to super hell. Exactly. Is that the point of the game? No, the death chicken is not from the game. The death rooster, sorry, it's not from the game. It's an actual folklore legend. Okay, we're gonna go for these values. I think maybe the sky can be a little darker. Yeah. Okay, let's go for orange tree. Let's see what we get. Like, yeah, this is a classic look of the orange tree. Or these ones, these are like, if you go to southern Spain, all the streets are full of these. It's a really common, like, street tree. But I would like one that looks a little older. With a big trunk. Maybe more sparse leaves. Sparser, I guess. I thought it was in the game. No, it's just one of the inspirations behind this area. So according to Wikipedia, the first time the mountain was called Naranjo de Bulnes was by a German geologist in 1855. Interesting. Why would they call it that? Yeah, Pico Rey is like the more correct name because, you know, it's the name in Asturiano in the local language. So that's probably the original, and what the people in the in the area, like right around it, call it the most. Silly Brian, thank you for the follow. Okay, this one has more interesting trunk. Could be a start. This one also looks older. Yeah, this one has a kind of a gnarly trunk. That's pretty cool. It's funny how when you put in black and whites, the oranges become camouflaged. They're actually really hard to see. That's interesting. Gonna have to do some magic to make them pop out. And with magic, I just mean this. It's not that hard. It's a slider. Okay. That's not a real tree, is it? And it's clearly been made up to look like a live orange tree. But I like the trunk here. It looks like a bit more gnarled. Apparently in his original map he had labeled the original name, but then scratched it and changed it. It's mysterious. Thank you for looking it up, honey. Artists are kind of like a magician. I guess. Making images is magic, yeah. Oh, this one has nice contrast between the leaves. I guess it's just like how the image was edited and the greens were made darker. Because orange trees don't have such dark leaves in real life. Maybe you heard the strange death chicken. You know what? That's gonna be my headcanon from now on. He was death chickened. Hold on, I'm gonna read you the actual death chicken story. Because I kind of paraphrased it for you, but it's called Rayo de la Muerte. Because it's actually way more involved than this. So okay, website, please load. Okay. It happens once every 100 years that a chicken or hen lays an egg of a red color on the on her nest on top of a flower called laudlara. From this egg hatches a bird of white and black color that's much larger than the other hens, which lives for 50 years. When it dies, from its corpse appears a worm that starts growing and growing and eventually turns into a black rooster with blue spots and a high beak. I don't know what that means exactly. Its crests, what do you call the red thingy on the rooster, is white. This rooster is known as the Death Rooster. And it lives, it's the story, the place where it's supposed to live. It's in the village of Potes. Whoever listens to its cacareo, kikiriki, rooster sound, which sounds like a wailing or like a cry, will die without remedy on the next day, uh, after the day after hearing it, when the sun comes up. But they can save their life if they uh, if they're giving a tea made with a strange herb of blue color and dark roots that lives next to apple trees at the start of spring, with made with agua de romero, made with some, like, a little bit of a ritual. But yeah, the specific of the story changed. This specific one calls it an herb that has blue leaves and black roots. Some say it is a tree, the apple tree that has black roots and blue leaves. So, the specifics of the story, as with any folklore thing, will change. But that is a story. It's actually more involved. It's not every 100 years there's a death rooster that's born. It is a black and white hen, which it doesn't say it in the specific story, but in another version I heard, the hen is just like from side to side, like entirely black on the right and white on the left. Right? It's this strange, like, symmetrical black and white chicken, or asymmetrical, I guess. First the basilisk, now the death rooster. I bet it's based, or it's not based. It is kind of a cousin to the basilisk story. They have the same origin. The comb, thank you, Mush. So I really like that story for its, like, chromatic thing. It keeps mentioning colors in a very interesting way, right? It's a black and white hen, then a green worm. Yeah, it does say a green worm, and then it turns into a black rooster with a white comb and blue legs. And the only way to heal it is by finding a specific herb or a specific tree with green leaves and black roots. It's like it's all about colors in a strange way. I really like that. Just gives the story a very like specific vibe that I like. You may have a single day to climb a mountain and find some apple trees because there's a chance the blue leaves could be found at either location. Guess I'll die. Oh, and it can only be at the start of spring. If you hear the death rooster at any other time, I guess you're fucked. I guess good luck. So I guess don't go near Potes. If you go to Asturias and are afraid of the death rooster, don't go near the village. Damn it. Don't go near the village of Potes. Although that might be your loss, because the village of Potes is really nice. I think I've been there. Yeah. Oh, it's beautiful. Look at Potes. Look at this, with the old medieval bridge and all the houses kind of hanging next to the river. Beautiful village. So I guess go at your own risk. But if you go to Asturias, I do recommend Potes. It's a bit out of the way, but it's worth it. It's a kind of mountainous little town. A person with that fucked up rooster as a pet who also sells the herbs. I wonder if people still live there. Yeah, why wouldn't they? It's a beautiful village. There is in Spain. There is a big problem which they call the empty or the emptied Spain. All the rural areas in Spain have been slowly decaying because everyone just kind of moves to the city. So they've been slowly over time getting emptied, and I don't know. It's sad. It's very sad. But Potes specifically is a very it's a big tourist destination. So there are people. Everyone's dead because Death Rooster. Italy and France have the same problem. They do, but not the same level of Spain. Look, let me just see if I can find a specific chart. Population density Europe. Okay. Here's a chart. Here. Here's a chart of population density with darker colors being more density, lighter colors being less density. This is the kind of the Central Europe is really, really dense. Italy is pretty dense. Look at Spain though. Spain has 44 million people. I think I might be off on the number slightly. 44 million people. Look at the density. There's like a little dot there. That's Oviedo and Gijón. That's where I'm from. There's Madrid. That's a big dot. Another big dot here is Barcelona. There's like a few others that are other big cities and areas on the south here that are slightly more populated, but it is mostly just empty. The south of France does have a little bit of that, but France is you know, has a bit more of a spread out population. The Spanish population is really large because it's not like you say, like if you see Sweden or Norway, right? Norway has 5 million people. It is a really large country. Obviously, it's gonna be all really, really white here. Like it's not very dense, but that's in a big part because there's not that many people. But this is 44 million people crammed in all these little dots, which is pretty wild. So yeah, it is a big problem, and there's no solution yet. Thank you for the Saber Manager Lash. So yeah, it is a crisis in Spain. And it's very sad because I love rural areas, and I have spent a lot of my life in a small village in Asturias, and it's a village that has the whopping population of 40 people, maybe at least permanent population. In the summers there's more people that come, but you can get a sense of the vibe. Bean, what's that pose? What you doing up here, tummy first? He's the sleepiest boy alive. Okay, let's start. Let's just select the tree here, and the left part is going to be a little iffy because yeah, it's going to try to select all of this. But we can hopefully like cut off little chunks with this tool. Yeah, that's more or less doing the trick. He moved his paw to the music. Oh, he's dancing. So talented. Okay, so what we can do here, as you can see, Obviously, we don't get the colors because it's a black and white photo, but to imply that sort of blue leaves and to also make the oranges stand out, we can go to the black and white filter, which is what's making all this black and whites, and take the different colors. As you can see, if we take the yellows, that's going to take the oranges. We can use it to make the oranges brighter, but mostly we're going to take the greens, make those quite dark. And does it affect anything else? No, because everything else is blue. So as long as we don't touch the blues too much. So we can make the reds pop out, the yellows neutral, the greens dark. Okay, that's pretty good. Then we're gonna use the hair tool for this bit. Hair tool is also surprisingly good with foliage. It's kind of getting some areas. I'm probably using too big of a brush. So I gotta manually remove some of that later, but gonna use a smaller brush. Kind of go at it bit by bit. Remove all the white areas that pop up because there's a white wall behind it, and hopefully it'll blend in with the sky better. I think it's also messing with some of the leaves, but okay, that's already a little better. Leaves are like tree hair, I suppose. I guess. You're not wrong. And there is the foliage of the head, indeed. Oh, why is there a little chunk there? Let's see. Oh yeah, that's because of how I selected things. Sometimes it leaves a little bit of a 1 pixel edge, which is really annoying. So you gotta go into the mask view to see these little errors. That's overall a pretty decent selection. Bald people exist in perpetual winter. You just made me imagine a world where people shed their hair in the winter, in the fall, and it comes back in the spring. You know, and they call it fall because that's when your hair falls, and they call it spring because your first hair that grows is going to be a single hair in the center of your head that just does this. No gaming news. Thank you for the raid. Welcome. Hey, Sora. Holy fuck, flying tree. Hey, welcome. Okay, so now I gotta figure out how the lighting here works, considering, you know, we got a strong light coming from the left, from the right. And the lighting on this tree is coming from the top, so we're gonna have to edit that slightly. wondering if I should maybe crop the image slightly differently. Give it a bit more breathing space up here. I would just move the whole thing, but we would lose kind of the mountains at the bottom. We would kind of crop these out. I think that makes the image a little less interesting. So using this, I think we can make the tree a little larger, perhaps. So taking both of these layers. What am I working on? The orange tree of boldness. It's a strange tree that grows atop the tallest peak in Lemuria. And it only bears fruit for those who make offerings to it. I guess it is full of fruit here. Maybe I could remove some to go with the story, but we'll see. There's still a bit of a weird edge, so let me shift the edge inwards, maybe. Add some contrast, more contrast. Maybe that's better. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's definitely better. Bean is very, very softly snoring right now. He's the deepest sleeper. Oh yeah, I guess it can't be this dark. Okay, so I gotta add a levels layer that limits the darkness to somewhere about this point here. So that's 39. Yep, and put that here. Okay. So I'm going to do the same to this other bit of trunk. We're going to group all of this, call it tree, and the levels layer on top. Now, obviously it's too bright, but we have kind of set the limit of how dark it can go. That's weird. Why does it do this? Oh, I guess it's because of the black and white layer. Messing with things. Okay, let's not go as dark with the greens, because otherwise it starts messing everything up. I guess we can go for like a pretty high contrast look. May I make a small suggestion? Of course. Type now or forever hold thy peace. Would have been flatten the angle. Explain thyself. This edge here, it bothers me slightly. I'll figure it out. I think we need a thicker trunk, even though I know orange trees have thin trunks and all really grow super thick. But this is a special tree. It's special and I made it up. The tree looks tilted over. Oh, it is meant to be tilted over. And the lore behind this is one of the places you'll be able to visit in Lemuria. Sorry. I kind of said it in Spanish. It is a mysterious orange tree that grows atop the highest peak in the land. And it has many legends surrounding it. If you make an offering to it and it bears fruits, it means your cause is just. Or so the legends say. Okay, I could make this just thicker. Or just generally larger. How about this? I turn that into a smart object. For some reason that's taken a while. Oh god, don't break Photoshop. No, it's fine, it's fine. It didn't break. I turned that into a smart object. Oh yeah, and as Mush said, the actual mountain we're editing here is called the Naranjo de Bulnes, which means the Bulnes orange tree. And it is a mountain in Asturias, where I'm from. So I kind of took the name of the mountain literally and made an actual orange tree that grows on this mountain. Kind of want it to be like a really crooked tree, so maybe this will be cool. I hate it turns invisible when you edit it. Kind of just want to see where it goes. Yeah, this is cooler, this is cooler. Or the wordly tree with autumn leaves. I mean, the leaves are blue specifically. And either way, that's not really something we can do in a black and white photo. Okay, let me edit the shape of this until it looks natural. That's a little better. Don't know what to do with this branch. You wanna eat them naranjas? Bubslath, thank you for the follow. Welcome. You sleeping well, Bean? Sorry, I woke you up. Just wanted you to be comfortable. Your face was falling off. Ooh, big stretch. Oh, where are you going? Oh, he's just gonna sleep on the table. Okay. Let me put this here. There's the boy. Yeah, let's play around some more with the colors, and not be the colors, but the black and white layer that handles how the colors get turned into black and white. This kind of looks cool actually too. They could just be a light blue. I mean, what about opposite where the fruit is dark and obviously this doesn't work, but it can't be too dark. Okay, let me try a different method of editing the colors that will still respect the darkness where it should be. To whoever makes Val add googly eyes to this, I'll sell you a vial of my brain fluid. Don't you have enough points, Mush? Are you saving? Are you saving your points? You're making someone else spend them for you? Okay, so we go to hue saturation, and the picture looks like this as a base. So we can take the yellows, kind of scoot that over so it picks the orange actually. And with this, we can edit the color of the fruits without them going too dark like they did before. So like, this is pretty cool. And if we go to the black and whites, we can make them slightly darker, but without going overboard with it. Imagine coming all this way because the photo caption said the leaves were blue, just to find a fucking lie. Okay, and here's where we can take the greens and separately edit them. Make him brighter doesn't do much. Darker, it gives us a bit more contrast. Okay, into that. Let's go back to the greens. Kind of trying to find a balance. Okay, makes it feel a little more strange and magical, I think. You're watching on your small phone screen? Hold on, I'll zoom in real big for you. Hey, Snappy Bark, Borzor Raid, welcome everybody. How you guys doing? How's your stream, Snappy? And welcome, everybody. Thank you for the follows, Demipro and Quisix? I don't know how to pronounce that, but welcome. Thank you guys for the follows. I am Eduardo. This is Bean, right here on my table. Tim, thank you for the follow as well. And we are working on a little RPG game, TTRPG. So it's a little project I've been working on that we put up on Kickstarter a few months ago called Dreadfarer. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you the Kickstarter. Why not? So you can see some of the photos I made for it. Hey, Midnight Moth, Grafigato, or Gato, if that's Spanish. Welcome. I love Bean so much. Aww. Who couldn't love this little boy? He's so sweet. Here, you can see. Look at him. He's a sweet lad. Stream was very fun, playing some Inscription. Ooh, I love Inscription. And the art is going great. El gato duerme como príncipe. Yes. Okay. So this is Dreadfarer. This is the cover we made for it. And yeah, it was funded a few months ago. We've been working on it ever since. I'm working on it with a game designer partner. And I'm making a lot of the story and the arts while he's working on the layout of the book itself and the mechanics. It's kind of how we split it. So it's all about exploring. So it's a solo game. You play it on your own. You only need the booklet with the instructions, which you'll be able to get digitally when it's out, or buy a physical version. A couple dice, a d20 and a d4, and a notebook of any kind. So any kind of book you want to, or paper you want to write or draw on. And in the game itself, you will be traveling and doing like little expeditions to different areas of this strange new land that was just found called Lemuria. And you can see the map here. It has like 4 main areas you'll be able to visit. Sarah, which is kind of a desert area. Motag, it's kind of the mountainous place. The Sangle is a rainforest. There goes Bean. Hold on. Let's switch over the camera. There we go. Yeah, the Sangle is kind of the jungly area, and Lazarak is a wasteland peppered with a bunch of volcanoes. Hello, Bean. Dale un besote. Always. You wanna hop on? Hop on, Bean. Show them what you can do. Congrats on the fun. Thank you, Snappy. Hop on, Bean. Come on. Hop. Oh, you're just shy now. Come on. Go on. There you go. Anyway, what I've been doing on the past few streams are illustrations for this game. So there's a map that I did a while ago. Throughout your travels, you'll be finding cursed artifacts. You know, artifacts are not necessarily like man-made things, although sometimes they are, like this weird horn-like instruments, which is from the same area as this mountain. But sometimes it'll be something like a strange flower that attaches to you, kind of a strange flower parasite that's very rare. So it's valuable things, either natural or artificial, but strange things that tend to carry curses. And so that's some of the illustrations I'm doing are for these curses, and others are for areas. So this one we're doing right now, or this one we did yesterday, called the Whistling Cliffs. So it's a strange sandstone formation where when the wind blows, you'll start hearing weird echoing voices that some people say are the voices of those who have passed. And this one specifically is called the Orange Tree of Bullness, and it is based on an actual place in the area I grew up in Asturias, north of Spain, called El Naranjo de Bulnes, which is a big mountain. This is the actual mountain that we're editing right here. We're just making it smaller. But it's a really cool, picturesque mountain. And it's called, for some reason, someone one day decided to call it El Naranjo, which is the orange tree. And the origin of that name is unknown. Like somebody just decided to, just started calling this mountain Orange Tree. And I figured, oh, that's a fun, like, I'm going to just take that literally and have a strange orange tree that grows on top of the highest peak in this land. So that's one of the areas. So what we've done so far is find a picture of the actual mountain, because I did want it to be the actual mountain as a base. And we've been editing an orange tree and trying to make it look like crooked and ancient. Oh, thank you guys. Bean, are you gonna lie down? You gotta be stable. You gotta be stable when you're on my shoulders. There you go. You get a little kiss. And a treat, perhaps. Chat. Do we give him a treat? Look in his eyes. Look in his beautiful eyes right now. Does he deserve it? Chat will decide, Bean. Chat will decide your fates. Treated or untreated. He's perfect, he earned it. Oh, he wants it. He definitely wants it. Okay, he gets a treat. Bean, you're in luck today. It's treat time. Shh, don't move too much. You're gonna scratch me. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna do one thing. Bean, hold on. Don't move, Bean. Be patient. So I'm gonna remove the noise filter from this mic. You'll be able to hear some background noise, but just so you're able to hear the crunch very well. Give us a good crunch, Bean. Wow, that was crunchy, boy. Yeah. There you go. Now get the Cheeto dust off my fingers. Very good. So crunchy. Okay, I'll put the noise suppression back. I'm gonna start doing that when I give him treats. So you can hear the munching. God, he's so excited for this treat. He just spit all over my fingers. Full of bean spit. I gotta work with these fingers, dude. It's okay. It's okay. You're precious, so it's fine. Another one? Another one? Okay, chat. Another treats. Do you want to double crunch it today? He was really excited for this treat, so more? Okay, more. A last one. We can't give him too many treats. Bean, you get another. Ooh, he's excited. The noise suppression is off. Let's see if this one crunches well. Very good. That was just a double crunch. The last one was like 4 crunches, which is unusual. There he goes. That was Concerto in Crunch by Bean. It's like lubricant for your fingers. Yeah, it's all over. I gotta wipe them down. I'll cherish catch munching sounds for the rest of my life. Hell yeah. Yeah, he's been really weird since we came back here. So for context, just last Thursday I came back from Asturias, which is actually the area where this mountain is from. Asturias is where I grew up, but now I live in the Canary Islands. So I just spent a couple of months out in Asturias, living with my parents for a bit, just a little change of tone, and yeah, I just came back last Thursday, and since then Bean hasn't been eating a lot. He's fine, like he has been eating, but he's just been eating at a much slower pace. But whenever I give him a treat, it might just be like he was eating a different brand of food there, so it might just be like acclimating or getting used to the old brand again. I don't know, it must be something like that. I don't think it'll take him very long to get used to it, but whenever I give him a treat, he's like so hungry for it. That means I missed you. Oh no, he came over with me. He was with me in Asturias. I brought him because it was a long stay over there. So I was not gonna leave him alone. Poor boy. Cats do tend to change eating patterns when they get a little stressed. I don't think he's stressed. He's just he's coming back to the home he was used to. So I don't think it's stress in this case. It's been really chill past few days. He did make friends. Okay, so back at my parents, they have 2 dogs, and the smaller dog, it's a wiener dog called Kawa. She's delightful. She's like the cutest dog in the world. She's constantly kissing everybody, and she became instant friends with Bean. And they would spend the mornings together, just lying in the sun. It was so cute. And maybe he misses her. And that's one of my guesses. Like, he's been eating less because he misses the doggy friend he made there. Hold on, I have a picture. I don't know if I have it on here. I definitely have it. I posted it on Discord, just so you can see Kawa. There they are. Let me go to the browser. That's them. That's Bean in the front and Kawa in the back. And that's like one of the first days they met. Like, it was not their first meeting, but it was like 1 or 2 days after they first saw each other, and was kind of like their second or third contact. Because we kind of acclimated the dogs to the cats very slowly, so there would be no trouble between them. Wonder if they enjoy video calling each other. I gotta try that. I'm gonna try that one of these days, Laos. That sounds like a great idea. I wish my cats and dog got along, where they're just like little kids with siblings. My dog is sitting there, my cat goes up to her, the dog sighs dramatically and leaves. Oh my god, the drama. Let's check in on Bean. Hello. Oh, he's saying hi to chat. Hello. Yep. Just getting a little shower in this kitty bed. There it is. Bean Cam is back. Goddess of Lust. Thank you for the follow. Bean knows we gave him treats and is thanking us. That's true. He knows chats. The mysterious people I speak to that live in the camera. Oh yeah, while we were just chatting for a bit, I'm gonna show you something really funny that I saw today. So, I was googling the name of another artist because I just found some really cool comic strips, and I saw the name of the artist that made them, and googled it, and they had, you know, sometimes you Google the name of an artist or musician or something, and Google puts on the right a little shelf with like a name, a quick description, a photo, and some social media links. I was like, I wonder if I have that. I wonder if Google thinks I'm notable enough. So I googled my name, and check out what happens. if I Google my name, so well, ignore this. It just tells me how my website does in this search when you have a website connected to Google. Check out this on the right. It says Eduardo V. Valdés, which is not my name. That is not my photo. Who's this guy? Who's that? That ain't me. So I think I just found my Wario. I think this is like the Wario to my Mario. And it says internet personality, and it says my websites. And if you click on these just bring you to my social media profiles. That's Twitter, Instagram. It goes Valdevia Art. YouTube goes to Valdevia. Tumblr goes. So all the social media sites and links are correct. But it just calls me Eduardo V. Valdés. And puts a random person's photo there. It's really funny. Oh, Google. But I figured it out. If you actually click on this, it brings you to the search for Eduardo V. Valdés, and it again gives you this thing, even though it's different now, but whatever. Click on the first link, and it is ResearchGate. And it is someone called Eduardo V. Valdés with the exact same photo. Disney Research, Animal Science and Environment, Wild Animal Nutritionist. It's a scientist with 60 publications. How did Google confuse this person with me? I have no clue. Look, now I can get a high-res version of that photo to confirm what my Wario looks like. He even has evil glasses. Did you secretly replace the real Eduardo? I've been found! They do have a lot of publications. It's an accomplished scientist by all means. But I guess Google like automatically tries to find, like Google recognized, like, I guess enough people were searching for my name, I guess thanks to some like YouTube videos and stuff. Enough people were searching for my name on Google that Google like some algorithm at Google recognized, okay, this is a person people are looking for, and it tried to like automatically gather information, but it found this site instead of, and you know the funny thing, if you click on this, the website it gives you, that's my website, and it has an about section with a bunch of information. Instead of finding that, it found some random like researcher that has a name that's fairly close to mine. But yeah, Bobslash says, can't you claim the board? You can. I figured this out. You can say, claim this knowledge panel. You can also send feedback, which if the claiming doesn't work, I will ask people to help me send a bunch of feedback and say that the name and the photo are wrong, and hopefully that'll work, because I don't mind the rest of the information. Like, I don't care much if it's right or wrong, but the name and the photo should be right. But we'll only do that if the claiming doesn't work. So I hit on claim, and it brings you to a whole thing you got to fill out where you got to give them the reason for you claiming it, and you got to send Google a selfie of yourself holding your government ID. You got to give Google your government ID and a selfie holding it like this to be able to claim that little panel on the right. Thankfully, they do say you can blank out, or you can cover with your hands, or just otherwise cover any parts of the ID you don't want to show, like the actual code, like my actual ID number, and only show the, like, as long as it shows like your photo and the name that you claim you have, it's fine. So I breathed a sigh of relief, and I did that. I took a selfie with my ID. I covered all the sensitive information, so it only showed my name. And now Google has a selfie of me somewhere, with holding my ID. It's so strange. I figured you already had to do an ID verification thing for YouTube when they started rolling out more stronger like ID verification things for age restricted videos a while back. So I think I already did that. So I think yeah, it's the damage is done. Like Google knows who I am, so whatever. I I will take that risk if it means having my own name show up in my own search. It was pretty baffling though to have Google tell you, "Give me your government ID." If you Google Eduardo Valdés, does it show up with the wrong knowledge panel showing you? No, it shows this. It shows the same, and it also brings you to my profile. So there's also this Eduardo V. Valdés, but that's a different person. It's a CEO of Lazak Foundation, non-profit dedicated to save wildlife, actually also related to animals for some strange reason. And there's also some Facebook profiles and stuff, but the only actual page showing this researcher is that ResearchGate page. So it seems to be a pretty private person. I kind of feel sad for him because if he searches his own name, he's gonna get my information. So hopefully Google, when I claim the panel there, Google realizes the mess up and they stop showing my links on his search. We'll see, I guess. Funny things. Funny things. Thank you, Google. Hi, Bean. Also, hi, Juniper. The picture should show Bean, because he's the real artist. You guys want to see the latest piece of Bean art? I let him draw sometimes. Let me show you. This was the other day during stream. So there's this thing, like I draw using a tablet, so this pen. Sometimes he gets obsessed with the pen and he tries to attack it. So when he does that, instead of not letting him, I'm like, I'm gonna let him express himself. So I hold the pen like this to the tablet, kind of wiggle it a little bit to entice him, and he'll start attacking it and creating shapes. So this is his latest piece. It's pretty abstract, but I think it has it conveys a lot of meaning. I think it's pretty beautiful, don't you? So yeah, I will one day sell this as canvases and give all the money to Bean because he deserves it. He deserves to get his bag. I don't know what Bean will do with money, but that's its own prerogative. He can do whatever he wants. He can buy the most luxurious cat beds, maybe an enormous tower. The Bean art calendar. I don't think we have enough Bean pieces yet. I think there's one day where he did 3. There's this one, and I think there's a first one that he did. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 total. I can sense the swipes of the paws, the swift movement left and right. Right, it's a really dynamic piece. I think you should be really proud of this one. Okay, I'm actually thinking, what if we had a smaller outcrop of leaves, like a second little tree here. That kind of looks like a bonsai more than an adult tree, right? I don't know, but it does make it look a little bit more outlandish as well. So maybe we can do that. Let's see what pictures we got. Okay, so the original photo from this trunk, we bring it back here. Oh shit, it's really strange. Reset transform. Okay, so it is kind of a smaller little patch of orange tree. So if we flip it and put it, well, first of all, match the size of the leaves. That's the most important bit. Seems to be about right, even though these oranges are huge. So maybe a little smaller. So what I want to do is, I'm going to put it down here. This is because I don't want it to select the lady. I just wanted to select the tree. So that's just a little trick to get Photoshop's automatic selection to work with you, because sometimes it just refuses to. And that was actually a pretty good first selection. It does have a lot of like little white spots that we can get rid of with this tool. But yeah, that first selection was actually very decent. I feel like that the Photoshop selection tool has gotten a little better with this sort of thing over, actually a lot better over the years. It's still bad at like inside things, so if, you know, it'll get like the outside of the leaves, but if there's a little hole in between two leaves where you can see the background, it doesn't really recognize that. It still does save a lot of work though. Okay, let's hit OK here. Maybe let's shift the edge inwards a little. That's better. And we can make this pop up from here, maybe. Because the lighting, it has to, the right part has to point to the right. So that's more or less already the right lighting. And just to make the silhouettes readable, I want to separate it a little from the rest. And I don't know, maybe I'll make the branch larger though. Like this branch looks really puny compared to the rest. So how about I take this little thing again, I remove the puppet warp, I make a smaller version of it. This thickness looks good. Oh shit, it should be flipped. There we go. But yeah, on the Google thing, I'll update you guys. We'll see what Google says. We'll see if Google accepts my claim that I am me and I know my own name. Because I'm gonna bet that no human is gonna take a look at that. And it's probably gonna be an AI who decides if I am me. And as we know, AIs are famously reliable at detecting things. For instance, in detecting whether a picture of a shoulder should get me banned from Twitch for 7 days. That was fun. I'm putting in the same filters as this image. That's why I had it kind of on hand. Now I'm gonna edit them a bit. Because, okay, we got some really dark colors around the edges. That might be due to the vignettes. It seems to be the case. I think I'm gonna just add a bunch of contrasts. Make the shadows just generally darker. Might make the sky a little darker as well, just in general. Hey Agent, how you doing? Okay, where's the sky here? Let's go a little darker to get some better contrasts with our tree. And maybe get this little cloud here to sort of intersect the trunk of the tree to get us best possible contrast. Feel like I miss a lot of Val streams these days. Yeah, I've been back at it. Yeah, I'm gonna mention this again because I like everybody to know. I am back, I am actually continuing the schedule I had, the temporary schedule I had in Asturias. So I'm gonna make that official, and now I'm streaming 4 days a week instead of 3. And it's gonna be Monday to Thursday. It's still, of course, subject to change, and it might change week to week. I'm also gonna start doing a little like weekly calendar or weekly program where I tell you guys beforehand which days I'm going to be streaming, and maybe even an approximate hour, although I guess I can't promise that, but at least the days I'll be streaming. And if I know at the time of making it the subject of each of those streams. Why is the tree crooked? It's very old. And it's also probably being hit by multiple lightning bolts, a bunch of strong wind. So that tends to make trees look pretty crooked. Come on our show. What's your show? No spooky mysterious backstory? Oh, it is absolutely a mysterious tree. It is a strange tree with blue leaves that only gives fruit to those who have the right or the pure intentions. And it is a ritual in this land to go to this tree before a marriage or before a war is declared to see if you're blessed by it, basically. But you gotta climb up there first. Is there stairs behind the hill? No, you climb. Yeah, good arms. It's part of the fun. Otherwise, how do you know your intentions are righteous? Gotta suffer to get to it. Stairs would be too easy. The tree was hit by a very large bird. Okay, so I'm using a different Slayer, which basically, the way different Slayers work is the black part of the image will invert things, and the white part will leave it on its as it is. Or is it the other way around? Yeah, the white will invert and the black will leave it as it is. So if you play with like gray tones, it'll create these really fun effects. So for example, I can invert some of the tones in the shadows here for the mountain and do less of that in the sky. But the way the effect I'm trying to achieve is like a damaged tintype or daguerreotype, where it's this old method of photography where things were printed on metals. So in the tintype it was tin, in the daguerreotype and other early photography methods it was silver. It was printed on a directly on a sheet of silver. Why is this? Oh, the hardness is up. Okay, there we go. So if you look at this photography, this like silver photography from the right angle, the photograph looks right. But if you look at it from slightly crooked angles, you'll get these, the dark bits of the photo will start reflecting things and it'll start messing the tones of the image. So it's something you can play with. My intentions are pure. You want to build some stairs for your town's friends. Do a live show every Wednesday with guests basically every other week. I'll promote independent artists, musicians, performers, etc. Sounds fun. Where do you do it? I'll check it out. Is it on your Twitch channel, Juniper? The juiciest oranges? Oh, I bet the oranges are pretty musty. Like, this tree probably doesn't get a lot of water for juicy oranges. But that's not the point. We're not here for juice. We're here for truth. Or something. Okay. Trying to get as much contrast as I can between the tree and the area around it, so maybe I want to make the sky a little darker right around here. And counterintuitively, I got to do that by painting with white, because I'm painting on that invert layer. That gives us a little bit more contrast with this part of the tree. There we go. This one looks pretty damaged, but I want to go for like different levels of damage basically throughout these images. Like they were taken by different people in different contexts and different using different methods of photography. You run on Twitter Spaces and simulcast on Twitch. That's something you can do? Interesting. The tree already knows who's good folk. I recommend some stairs for my local government. Well, it has to be protected, and that's why you don't put stairs. Because if you put stairs, tourists are going to start going there, and this place is currently in the process, in a long and bloody process of fighting against the British, who are trying to colonize this island. So, maybe putting stairs or not putting stairs is a very intentional thing. This is a game where you deal with the evils of colonialism, among other things. Okay, I'm gonna save this. I think I'm happy with it. Nice, I'll check it out. No, Bean, you're so sleepy. I gotta cut your nails. They're getting sharp. When he got up on my shoulders before, I felt it. And his nails are sharp. And he gets, like... instead of lying down, he starts, like, stretching and walking on top of my shoulders. He digs his nails into me and it's like, oh shit! Don't do that. We were colonized by the Spanish. The Spanish don't make an appearance as a colonial force in this game because it takes place in the early 20th century when Spain was losing all of its colonies. So we got some in this island there's the British, and in another island there's the Dutch, and then there's the Desangle is hold on. This island here, it's kind of a jungle area. It's pretty uninhabited. There's like very few small communities like living deep in the rainforest. But there is like a more recent push to settle it by different people. So that's kind of a mixed bag of the people who are there. So there's definitely gonna be Spanish people there, but also like people from other places. There is one of the towns you can visit here in Desangle is a community of people from Motag that escaped the British to go to this place. So there's a lot of little things like that. There's a lot of moving pieces. Okay, for another place in this area, I'm wondering, I got a few of them that I want to do, but here in Motag, in the mountain area, there are a couple places we've already shown. So there's the cover of the game is an area in Motag, in this mountainous area, called the Titan Skull, and it's kind of being dug up by the British. That's them. Much to the protest of the locals. So, you know, again, a little bit of like colonial clash there. So that's one of the areas. We've already shown it. And there's also this one called the Witness Cliffs. So they're huge in one of the coasts of the island. There's a bunch of huge like eye sculptures just looking out at the sea. And the people of Motag say they are natural, and the British say no, they're clearly carved and make it into a tourist trap but you can go visit it and discover the truth. But yeah, we already have, with those, we have 3 places we've shown in Motag, which is already more than I've shown from other islands. So yeah, maybe I want to do other places for, like, other places from other areas. But I haven't chosen quite which ones yet. I'm not going to read the full thing because I like the full descriptions of all, or list all the places, because I think that would remove some of the fun of discovering when you play the game. So I'm just kind of reading through them. Okay, there is an area that's pretty important in the jungle, in the Desangle area. This one here, and it's called in the name in its language is Nalagal, or Sacred Tree. It's a huge mesa that looks like an enormous petrified tree stump. So, to the untrained eye, it might just look like a huge rocky mesa with nothing growing on it. But to the locals, it is called the Sacred Tree, and it is like kind of a hallowed ground. So I thought this would be a cool one to represent. There is an area in the US that like a mountain, not really a mountain, a sort of really tall mesa that kind of looks like a tree stump. I'm kind of blanking out on the name of it right now. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Is it Devil's something? Devil's Mountain? Something like that? Devil's Tower. That's the name. Okay. This is the one. This thing. That was kind of the inspiration for that one. I was like, this looks like a huge petrified tree stump, doesn't it? So what if we made that real? And it's sort of the actual remains of an ancient, enormous tree. So if an artifact was brought to the British Museum, would only the people who stole it potentially get cursed, or could the museum/country get cursed too? You want to curse the whole England. I applaud your efforts. So there is an in-game museum like that exists in a town in Motag that was started by the British, but then that city was taken by the people of Motag. So it's now like kind of autonomously run museum instead of being like sending stuff directly to the British. When you sell stuff to the museum, so okay, when just a little context, when you get some of the artifacts in this game, you have a choice for each of them. When you come back, you can choose to give them back to the people who own them, or to the area where it's meant to be, which will kind of reduce your corruption points. Which if you stack up enough corruption points, you get a curse. So you can give it back if you want to avoid getting a curse. You can give it to a museum that will, it stays in Lemuria. It stays in the place, close to the place where it's meant to be, and it gives you a little money. So the museum will pay you a reward for bringing its stuff, but it will give you some corruption, a little bit of corruption. And there's a third option, which is selling it to the black markets, which will give you a lot of money, but also a lot of corruption. So you're pretty much like stacking up curses if you sell it to the black market. So the curse is not as much about the item itself, but it's a sort of like the land cursing you for removing this part of it, essentially. Does that make sense? Although some items have like more direct effects, but most of them are just like an interesting, weird item. It's bad karma. It's basically like, yeah, it's bad karma. There's also like other ways you can accrue corruption, but I'm not gonna spoil those. There's like specific events. There's even one fun way you can accrue corruption if you run out of money, and you still have to go to the next place. So you can go to a strange ship that's on the docks with a weird fisherman who will bring you to wherever you want, but you'll gain corruption. Reminds you of Dredge. There's some quite a bit of Dredge inspo in here, this game. But yeah, petrified tree stump, which I guess is pretty similar thematically to this. It is a mountain and also a tree. So we go from mountain with tree to a literal tree mountain. So what I'm gonna do is, I think I've already saved this. Yeah, I'm gonna open one of the artifacts. So the Phoenix, for example. I'm just looking to use mostly the same sizes for images, so it's a little bit easier to like put the pages together. So I'm using this as a base, but I'm saving that as a sacred tree. And we're going to start on here. So we get a vertical image for this one. I think it's going to be better. And I'm going to use what's the name? Devil's Tower. Let's see what we get. Hopefully there's plenty of images. That's great. I wonder what we can use. So I want it to be a little flatter. So I'm probably going to cut it down in height a little bit. Maybe mix in some actual tree textures to make it look a little less rocky. What's that pose bean? There we go. And then I want to change the environment around it. So, you know, I want it to look like this with a few pine trees. It has to look like it's popping out from the middle of a huge rainforest. So that's what we're gonna edit in this image. Okay, this is just giving us towers. So that's the images we got, at least here. There's probably other images elsewhere, but I like this one where it's behind Bean. Hold on. This one here, it's pretty imposing. This one's pretty good too. Oh, this one has a little bit of mist. It's mysterious. This one has a lot more mist. It'd be too much. We could also do like a picture taken from right below it and looking up at it. But maybe that's not as interesting. Okay, so we got plenty of images. And I think there's one side and there's the other. Yeah, it looks like it. It's that little like rounder bits near the bottom. Here's on the left. Here it is on the right. So. Take this. Thank you, Tim. I'm gonna take your leave. Okay, you have a good night. Thank you so much for coming. See you on the next one. Oh, hold on. Bean is so sleepy. You can move his hand around and he doesn't even open his eyes. He's just so fast asleep. Oh, my boy. He's so precious. I'm not gonna bother him too much. Let him sleep. Okay, so black and whites, first of all. Then, the environment. Let's first change the environment. Let's look for rainforests or jungle. Most of them are going to be pictures from below like this, but what I'm looking for is more aerial pictures. Stuff like this. Or this. I got plenty of good ones. I could use my own pictures of La Palma. Hold on. At least for the background. Okay, so the inspiration for this island of the Sangul is an actual island in the Canary Islands called La Palma. So it's a really beautiful green, like elevated island. It's like a very young volcanic island, where the, hold on, let me actually show you. So, if you look at the island of La Palma, there's a picture from above. You can see it's kind of pointed in the end. These are like very young volcanoes. And this here is a huge caldera. If you've ever heard the word caldera for a volcano, this is the one. This was called La Caldera, or La Caldera de Taburiente, because that's the area. That's always been called La Caldera because it means like a pot. Looks like a pot, right? It was always called that by locals, and at some point, I think in the 1800s or 1900s, there was a geologist, like a German geologist, that came to this island of La Palma to study it, and he was the first to describe the volcanic caldera. So he just took the local name for this volcano, for this huge crater, and he made it into the official like scientific name by publishing it with that name. So if you've ever heard the word caldera, that's the one. That's the one you're seeing right there. Kaya herself, thank you so much for the follow. I feel like I always learn something when I tune into the streams. It's a pleasure. So it's a beautiful, beautiful island. If you like nature and like volcanic areas, this is incredible. It just has the most beautiful nature hikes. And you might have heard about this island a couple years ago now. There was a big eruption right here. There's an aerial photo while the eruption was happening. And you can see the aftermath here, this river of lava. You see those white things? Those were all like cultivated land. There was a lot of banana plantations here, and a bunch of little villages that got raised by this. Everyone survived, thankfully, but there was a really big economic damage to the area that is still, still hasn't been recovered. When we went there, we had we went there for a week with my girlfriend, and we had rented a car to go through the islands. All the roads obviously were raised by this. They had just managed to rebuild the first road going through like on top of the dried river of lava. Obviously, you can't remove the dried river of lava. It's an enormous amount of material, so you just kind of have to live with it, right? So yeah, there was a little road that went over it, so thankfully you could pass instead of having to go through the other side of the island. And this is the actual new land that was formed from this eruption. The videos of this are incredible because it was a really well documented. You know, it was in a very like a fairly populated area. It was really recent, so there's a ton of footage of this. If you look for La Palma eruption, you can find a bunch of it. But yeah, all this to say, you see this island of La Palma. Now take a look. Take a look at the island of Desangle. It's the same island, except I made the caldera kind of bigger and put some land on the sides. It kind of opens up a big bay, but the shape of the island is the same, a little bit rotated. You can see the point where it ends here. So I wanted this island to just be like a huge caldera. Anyway, all this, I've been again, all this to explain the island of La Palma, and I'm gonna look for the pictures I took while there. So let's see, La Palma. Okay. So this right here, that is La Caldera de Taburiente. Really cool place. Look at this birdie. Sorry. But that's not the impressive side of it. This is it. This, while you were kind of going down to the center of the caldera, there is a beautiful hike, probably one of the most beautiful hikes I've done in my life. Just going around the side of it, the side of the caldera. Eventually you go down to the center of it. There's a little river. And that's the river, you know, the river is on our right here. This is the river bed. It was warm, really warm these days, so there was not a lot of river flowing. But this is like being in the center and kind of looking up north. You can see you've seen the map, right? So this is from the middle, looking up north, and you're just surrounded by these enormous walls of stone. It's really impressive. You can see a little bit to the left. These are some more vistas. There's a lot of little rocks, standing rocks like these. I think that's due to erosion. Like volcanoes will throw a bunch of very different rocks on top of each other. And like this was probably like a heavier, denser rock, and everything around it got eroded. And it kind of just starts leaving these rocks just hanging. And eventually over time, it'll just be like a big rock with a small neck, and eventually it'll break off. In geological timescales. Probably not in our lifetimes. Hey Irish. As soon as I joined stream, my brain just tweaked thinking that you had your camera selected in Photoshop. I've tricked you. I can actually deselect it. Well, you guys can actually deselect it by using the toggle the camera selection reward. Anyway, La Palma was beautiful. Look at this village. It's built into the rock. Isn't that cool? People are swimming there. Look at that. Look at the blue water. Beautiful. It's me. Hey. And long hair. God damn. Sorry, I'm just vacation memories. This was a really fun trip. But look at how green this is. It's just volcanic areas. When the volcano first erupts, it just becomes this black hellscape. There's just dust and all the ash covers everything. all the dead rocks, and it is actually a chock full of like nutrients that will be really good for plants, but they're really hard to get. So it is for many many years after the eruption, it is inhospitable. But like a million, 2 million years after, it suddenly explodes into these green, lush spaces, which is really cool. And you see these pine trees? These pine trees are a species of Canary Island pine trees. I think Pinus canariensis or something like that. They are resistant to fire to a ludicrous degree because, you know, there were pine trees that evolved in a volcanic area where fires would have been really common. So they are actually able to survive like volcanic eruptions to a pretty large extent, which is wild. They'll just keep growing. They'll just be covered in ash up to the tip, and they'll just keep going from there. They're amazing. Hey Barango, you gonna sleep? What's your most used Photoshop tool? Oh, I don't know. That's a hard question. Like the brush, probably. Because like selection tools, I use the object selection tool a lot, but it's just like one use per image. Usually I'll just select the subjects, but then the brush will generally get more use. So I guess it depends on like how if you count like time using the tool or individual uses. I'm not really sure. Lava resistant trees. If lava goes to that tree, it will die. If it gets directly hit by a river of lava, but it won't die if the river of lava goes pretty close to it. I know, they're amazing trees. Like they'll just burn up and then continue living. Dapper!
Years have passed. I have not seen the sun in so long. Valdevia said that he may gain my freedom eventually, but hasn't given me any other instructions. Today I put a bottle labeled Wretched Soda in my cell.
Drink the wretched soda. It's great. Thank you so much, Dapper. 36 months. Oh my god. That's incredible. Thank you so much. I think you might be the person with the longest sub streak. That's incredible. I don't think anybody else has gotten to 3 years. Cherry limeade. Sounds tasty. Okay, so let's try to choose a good background for this huge tree. I think this one's pretty cool. It's just very like the all the little clouds and stuff, all the fog looks quite cool. My screen is dirty. Hold on. Can't see what I'm doing. That's a little better. Oh, big stretch bean. Hello. Hello, baby. Sometimes when he's really sleepy like that, and he sees me like move my hand around him, he'll just weakly just stretch to try to get it. Don't you, Bean? Oh yeah, big kisses. Big kisses. What's up, man? Hello? Oh, there he goes. You coming to see me? Oh, he's coming to see me. Hello? Bean is always comfortable. He's the comfiest person in the world. Come up. Oh, careful. He slipped. He's so sleepy. I had to help him up. He's the sleepiest man in the entire whole world. Big kisses. There he goes. Okay, so how about we take this foggy version, this image, and we use that. Let me just do like a... That was really shitty. Oop. We could have this be on the far back to just make it look ginormous. How about that? Bean is doing this thing where he's comfortable, so he starts like just moving his paws like that, like he's kneading. And he does it while he's on my shoulders, so he's digging his claws like intermittently into my shoulders. Especially with his back feet right now. What's up? Oh, it's okay. You can dig your claws into my shoulders anytime. He is a shoulder kitty. It was a long, hard road to teach him how to be a shoulder kitty. But he got there. He got there eventually. Oh yeah, he's very, very kissy. When he feels comfy like that and he wants cuddles, and you put a finger next to him, he'll just do this. Oh yeah. He loves me? I bet he does. I love him too. I love him to death. He's my favorite guy in the whole wide world. Big yawn. Don't put your whiskers in my mouth. Gonna give you a treat. How about that, Bean? You've been good. Hold on. Let's do the Bean treat auditory experience. Let's remove the noise suppression. And now it is time for the bean treats. Ooh yeah. You can see it coming. Are you excited? You are excited. He's trying to reach it. Go. Very good. Very good. I always put my hand below below his mouth when he eats his treats, because he'll sometimes be clumsy and drop them. So that way I'll grab them and they won't fall to the floor. Ooh, big stretch. Big stretch. What's up? He's purring. He's so lovely. He's that cool school too, I guess. He's cooler than me, though. Are you just staying there? Are you just gonna stay on my shoulders like that? You can just lie down. You can be comfy. Okay, he wants to go. Okay. Let's go to Photoshop. Mental fuck, thank you for the follow. He's a spoiled kitty? Oh, he is. What do you guys think of this? Maybe we cut it a little closer like this. So it's not like fully centered, it's just kind of there in the background. So we do this. We then add a stump for texture. Like this, that's perfect. Oh. I got Bean showering. Whoa. Bean, you're exposing your whole ass. That's okay. No, it stays fully hidden. It's fine. Are pledges for the Kickstarter still open? No, it was just only during the pledging period. Whenever there's the option to get physical copies, I will let you guys know. Like whenever we're like ready to print them and all the test prints have been done and stuff, we might open like a set of pre-orders for people who missed the Kickstarter but still want it. So yeah, in any case, I will let you guys know. You will be the first to know. Okay, this stump is also pretty cool. It's really, really mossy. So maybe I can use some of that too. Okay, let's start with this one. Sorry, this one. So I like the mossy texture. Okay, it needs to be a little brighter. Oh yeah, we kind of lose some of the foggy texture here. So I might have to add some extra fog on top then to correct. Let's see, hopefully it'll be worth it. So as for this other texture, I want to add it to the right here to have that little hole. A little bit of top here. November 22nd, 1963 on the mossy stump. Well, like 1903, but pretty close. Hey, Rainoven94, thank you so much for the follow. Okay, now that actually looks like a tree stump. Now we need to add some fog back. And I think I can just get the atmosphere textures I got. I got a few foggy ones. This one, it's more like smoke. Hold on. Maybe something a little more like this. These ones are really out of focus. Too wispy, I think. Let me try this one. Hey, how are you doing, Ray? Okay, so we can add this on screen mode. Put that on top like so. Then we figure out the specific position. It's all very bright. Okay, now we add some levels to the whole tree. We make the whites a little less white, the black a little less black. And we figure out the specific brightness of the whole thing. I want it to pop against the background, so I'm gonna go a little bit fake on how dark it should be. Like it should be as dark as this in the background. So it would probably look something like this, you know, like with very little detail. But we don't want that. We want some fun texture to it. Let's remove the shape of these two trees, because trees aren't that big. Except for this one. And I wonder if we add a little bit at the top of the stump. Lazy morning, you're in Europe? What if we add this top of a stump, or this one? Just a little sliver of it. Nothing huge. Poland, nice. So I think you're just 1 hour ahead of me. I think Poland and Spain are the same time zone, and I'm in the Canary Islands, so that's one less than mainland Spain. Is it 7:36 for you? Or 8:36? Don't really know what time zone Poland is, actually. Oh, bean is out of focus. You guys should have told me. Okay. Now I got a little bit of the top of the stump. Now it does feel like an actual tree, or what's left of it. Okay, let's try this out with some color. Let me try something a bit more orange. Shard of bark, like on the ground here. I don't think we'll be able to see it with the fogginess. Actually, the mossy bit here should be blurrier. Feels too sharp. Maybe the grain will help too. Like on the edge of the stump. I like poking up a little bit. Yeah, I can do that. I see. I think I'm picking up what you're putting down. How much will you be paid for scaling the big tree? You'll probably find an artifact there. So the way I have it mechanically set up is each you have a d20 to throw, like to pick from random tables. So when you go to a place, let's say this angle, like the jungle area, you'll throw a d20. It'll give you one of 20 different places you can go to. The stump is one of them. Each of them has a category, and for each category, there's like 5 categories with 4 items or 4 places in each in all of the areas. And the encounters are based on those categories. So you will be able to, when you go to this place, like there's the category for jungle, there's a category for swamp, there's a category usually for like villages or towns, populations in general. And there's always a category called monuments, which is like the most impressive or important places in each of the areas. And the monument kind of encounter pool is always has some like weird fun stuff. I'm not gonna spoil it, but it's where you get a little bit more of the cosmic horror sometimes. It's in these strange places, like the stump is one of them. It's been an encounter. Actually, I haven't written that yet, but I'm thinking of adding a little bean Easter egg. We'll see, because I don't know where to put it exactly. Can you play as a bard? There's no classes. but your character can be a musician. That's a good option. There is one of the character archetypes. I think that's going to be the 20th one. We had 19 out of 20. I think the 20th one is going to be an artist who's coming here to find inspiration for their next pieces. But we're not going to specify what type of artist, because we want to leave that open for whoever wants to use that as a springboard. You can be a musician and use that archetype, and we're probably going to give it a specific, like a little mechanic where you can actually, make your piece, let's say a painting or maybe a song, and use that, or get some money out of that, maybe. Can you be Nyarlathotep the Endless One? You can be anything you want, if you put your mind to it. It's not in the standard characters, but you can play a non-standard character. It's part of the fun. You can make your own. We have 20 character archetypes. Those are only suggestions. So coming up with your own is really cool. Let's go a little brighter. Like it's a bit gray. That's better. Okay, tree stump. We have to blur this. 2.8 sounds good. I'm gonna blur this the same amounts. That's the other texture, the other tree textures. And let's see, a little shard of bark. That was a good suggestion. Let me go back to the search for stump. Let's see if we find one that has a little bit of bark poking up. This one has a splinter. The final encounter is an NFT, bro. Can you imagine? Someone who takes all your artifacts and says, "Don't worry, bro, I'll turn them into digital tokens. You can sell them on the blockchain." To a person in the 1900s who doesn't know what the hell you're talking about. Maybe this. Those are some nice little shards. Let's take like a little chunk of them. Let's say this. I'll cut off this little chunk too. Okay, now let's find a place for it. It should be behind, so it kind of pokes up from the back. Whoa. Lady Thalia dies. You're already planning her death? And then my next character finds Lady Thalia's journal for sale at the black market. Being sold by Lady Thalia herself. I like that. I like that. gonna take the edge of the stump and blur that. There we go. Lore on this tree stump so far. What do we have to venture there? Well, it's kind of a sacred place. I don't want to give away too much, but it is something that appears to be like a huge, tall mesa that looks like a petrified giant stump, and the locals there call it like hallowed ground, so you can't approach it, or if you have to approach it, you have to do sneakily. And it has importance, but it is not something I can tell you right now. It's part of the fun. You'll have to discover that yourself. And it is not called Stumpy. It is called the Neloggle, or sacred tree in their tongue. Okay, so let's put this all together. Some smart filters, like so. Then we can add some dust and scratches. Does that even show up? Oh, barely. Let's invert these. Ooh, that hurt me. Okay. So we can add the dust like this. Maybe it has cheddar biscuits. You don't know. You gotta go up there and check. Okay, let's add some more damage to this. Let's see what I got. Let me go to my grunge textures. Maybe this? Oh, these ones are pretty good to invert. To add in difference mode. Just gives you some nice soft scratches. Go much harder on it, obviously, but I think a soft version of it could be good, or even ooh, this is actually kind of creepy in overlay. It's pretty nice. Not that exaggerated, but something that gives it really dark, cursed vibe. Kind of makes everything very dark, though. We kind of lose all the detail here. So we can bring some detail back. How about this? Yay or nay? Is it too dark if I do this? I think it's a fairly good middle ground. I hope so, at least. Like there's one little chunk here, like this bit right here. It kind of bothers me. Like we've kind of lost all the detail here. And I don't know if that was the black and white, if that was the blurring. Which part of it might have been. Jelly, thank you for the follow. You got your name right. Hell yeah. Gotta do the scream. You gotta be a good employee. Alright, see you, Dapper. Luck at work. Every 3 years of me being obnoxious. You never. You're being a bad employee. It's okay, I won't tell anybody. For a price. You know, this part is really annoying, so what I'm gonna do is cheat it. Since there's very little contrast here, I'm just gonna make my own contrast. Okay. Gonna clone some parts from here. Get a nicer looking mountain. See, I'm so smart. That's how you solve your problems, by avoiding them altogether. Oh, thank you for the save reminder. See the difference? Ha! I don't know why that was bothering me so much, but now it doesn't have to. So I don't have to look at it. Alright. We got our two tree mountain-based pieces of art today. First one is the orange tree that grows on the peak of the tallest mountain. And second is the huge tree stump that dwarfs all of the mountains. So I like how, you know, this one feels out in the distance there. Creates a nice perspective. I like how that came out. I don't know if I should add a little bit of contrast around it, but can always try. Is that not working? Oh, here we go. just making the mountains that are next to it a little bit darker, so that this doesn't pop out as too dark. There we go. This is too scary. I'm glad trees and mountains aren't real. Yeah, don't look out the window. Don't worry. Trees can't hurt you. Alright, I'm gonna call this one done. Alright, that's pretty nice. I think that is gonna do it for us today. We got 2 finished pieces. I'll have time to start a third one, but I'm quite happy with these 2. So I managed to fill out a few more places, or illustrations for places in the game, which is what I don't have so much of. So I want to have, I probably end up having more illustrations for artifacts than for places, but I still want to have a couple at least per area. So, you know, to fill out the book with some nice art. Bean, you're so sleepy. Oh yeah, it's the morning. Alright, y'all. That is gonna do it for us tonight. And we are keeping with the new schedule. Remember, we are streaming every day, Monday to Thursday. So today was Wednesday. At least tonight was Wednesday. It is already Thursday here. But tomorrow, we're going to be doing another stream. And it might just be more Dreadfarer, because there's so many illustrations to do for that game. And yeah, I'm going to pick up the pace, I think. Bean, why are you sleeping like that? So cute. So yeah, we're going to see tomorrow. I don't know exactly what we'll do, but we'll see. We'll see as we go. There's plenty of illustrations to do here, so most likely Dreadfarer. We shall see. So folks, I hope you have a fantastic time zone, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.